Hi, my name is Don. I want your help solving a problem. Imagine your school is this boat. Your boat is being attacked. It is being ripped apart by a kraken, which is a sea monster, kind of like a giant squid, but the end of every tentacle looks different from the others. You and the rest of the crew of your boat think that you are being swarmed by many different sea monsters, not just one with a lot of arms. These particular EduKraken also happen to be a cross between giant squids and hydras. So each time a valiant crew member cuts off a tentacle, it grows back, sometimes in multiples. Since you don't realize what you are dealing with, you're rarely effective at fighting it. This is K-12 education in a nutshell. Most schools have an EduKraken on their hull. What appears to be a multitude of challenges turns out to be one central problem. As a result, our efforts to fight off adversity sometimes make things worse rather than better. The sea of our education system is currently infested with EduKraken, and the fight is on. But only well-organized, properly informed warriors can win it. If you think I'm deluded into seeing a monster when there's really only a schoolhouse, you might also think my name is Don Quixote. Changing the school system is notoriously difficult, and some writers and activists may be on quixotic quests instead of practical paths. But I'm confident that my quest is not quixotic because of the amazing consistency of the scientific evidence that I use to assess the situation and the options for action. I conjured the fantastic image of an EduKraken because my new book is based on the extraordinary idea that one problem is responsible for the most important challenges we face in mainstream, public, private, and charter schools. In the same way that the body of a kraken would be hidden underwater and under the boat, the central feature that reveals the unity of problems in schools is hidden. But how can it be that millions of people like you miss the unity behind the various problems? If I'm not delusional, then am I saying someone else is? No. You and your crew are not delusional, even though you are not perceiving your whole situation correctly. Your boat is being pulled apart by the bunch of things you see. What you lack is merely the correct perspective to see that those various things are actually one big thing with a bunch of appendages. And the correct image of this dire situation still does not tell you how to save the day. In order to act effectively, you will need to know about the vulnerabilities of your attacker. The litany of problems with schools, like low test scores, dropouts, failures, etc., are mostly based on true observations, but the observers were not positioned to see the whole truth. And the few folks who currently have more of the truth are not positioned to save the day. My book observes the situation more accurately and also points out the vulnerabilities of the beast, so that if you are positioned properly, you can help to slay the monster. The book will give you both better ammunition and a practical plan for helping schools to do a better job of educating children. We can deal with many of the biggest problems we have in schools by transforming our understanding of what looks like a horde of problems into one many-armed beast with a clear vulnerability at its center. In this book, I connect the dots of school criticism, education psychology, and other related fields to create a unified picture of a variety of important problems in schools. The one problem that is both central to the beast and that we can solve also happens to be at the very heart of learning. Each tentacle of the EduKraken is a particular hazard that damages the learning process. Each hazardous tentacle is caused by people like us within the system being disengaged from properly learning what we need to do our job right. Both Gallup, the International Polling Organization, and the Carnegie Foundation agree that disengagement is a central problem in schools today. Gallup has data going back over 15 years, showing the majority of both teachers and students are disengaged. The EduKraken is a fantastical image to put a face on the epidemic of disengagement. Most of us, teachers, students, and everyone else, do what the system tells us to do, and the system gives us something in return. But most of the time, it is not what we were supposed to have gotten. We get evidence of instructional bookkeeping, such as a diploma, but we do not get the mastery of the subjects that we were taught. Except for rare exceptions, our understandings of math, science, literature, and everything else remain at an intuitive level, with an abundance of misconceptions about the world and how it works. And due to the way our brains are wired, we don't even realize that we didn't learn what we needed. We're perfectly happy with what we get, because we can't even tell that we got the wrong stuff. It is ultimately just our compromised learning that creates the monster and causes the damage. To quote Pogo, "We have met the enemy, and he is us. We are both the monster that must die and the besieged crew fighting to survive. But once we support our learning processes properly, then the monster disappears. The monster will die after all the people in the system can satisfy their primary human needs. Enabling people to satisfy their primary human needs is also known as nurturing. So nurturing is the secret to saving our schools. Nurturing is the secret weapon that can kill the EduKraken. It also happens to be the case that the same monster, the epidemic of disengagement, is attacking more than just our schools. Gallup's data shows that 70% of the entire US workforce is afflicted by disengagement. So nurturing turns out to be the secret to saving just about everything else we care about, too. The title of the book is Nurture, the surprising secret to saving our schools, ourselves, and our society. It offers a clear and coherent picture of what goes wrong when we try to educate children with industrial systems guided by deeply intuitive but badly mistaken beliefs about learning. I'm writing this book because I'm an education psychologist with many years of experience both as a teacherpreneur, an entrepreneurial teacher, and working with unusual schools that accomplish something that no mainstream schools have. Those unusual schools maintain the engagement of their students. They prevent or cure the disease of disengagement that afflicts regular schools. The EduKraken passes them by. To be honest, the book does neglect a variety of political realities that affect the school system. I am, outside of the book, greatly concerned about the issues of funding, choice, equity, privatization, and many others. Glossing over these realities is a deliberate choice. I'm making this choice because a ship in the grip of the EduKraken will sink, no matter how we set our sails or how artfully we arrange our deck chairs. If we do not kill the EduKraken, then it will haul us all down to Davy Jones' locker by crushing the hulls, the foundations of our ships. We must get clear about how to tell the difference between changes that are at the heart of the problem, that reinforce or repair the integrity of the hull, in contrast to changes that are more like rearranging deck chairs. To put it another way, consider the possibility that if the very foundations of learning continue to be undermined by the system, no matter what policies for funding, choice, etc. are put in place, in the long run, they will make absolutely no difference to the bigger picture. Make no mistake, the Kraken has to be killed. Fighting the good fight in education will require intellectual ammunition, taking control of institutional weapons, and mastering the basics of the foundation of learning, how the school system has inadvertently undermined that foundation, and how to ensure that we have what we need for sustainable success. If we can come to share a clear view of the foundations of learning, then we will ultimately kill the EduKraken. Remember, I started off asking for help. The first draft of the book is almost done, and I'm looking for two key things. First, people like you to read what I've got so far, so I can make it better. And I'm also looking for your help in finding organizations that would like to partner with me to publish and distribute this book. If you know someone at an organization that's committed to making schools better, please make an introduction. Like and share this video. Visit my site, schoolsofconscience.org, for more information. And please, feel free to email me if you'd like to read what I've got so far or have someone to introduce me to. Thanks for watching.